Hello my dear friends and welcome to my channel. Don't forget to make yourself a cup of tea with snacks if you want, because today we have very interesting stories, and one of them is a story about a woman who became mad because OP protected her child from danger. Please subscribe if you haven't and I hope you'll enjoy it. Backstory. My dad married when he was 27 and married my mother that is older than him, 29 I presume. To be honest, my mom is scarier. She learned self-defense and can kick even the men's butt. About my dad, he always goes to work and come back home so early. My mom and I once saw him hanging out with a girl, holding hand. The girl will be named Sarah. Sarah is a gold digger and believe it or not, she's a single mother with 2 daughters, 5 and 6-year-old. But the most annoying thing is she speaks like Cardi B. My mother's money was used just for him to flirt her. And her blonde hair and her thick makeup that everyone can tell, my mom and I were disgusted. The second time we met them was at a cafe. My mom tells me to secretly record the whole thing from a different table. When she tells me this, I know crap is going down. She also tells me how the conversations went, not 100% accurate though. M. My mom. D. My dad. S. Sarah, craphead. Let the conversation start now. Hey, Mason, not my dad's real name, how are you doing? My dad was surprised. Hey, Mariah, not my mom's real name. Excuse me, could you not get too close to my husband? Husband. She says husband looking at mom's reaction, she looks like those yandier girl than just kill somebody. Smile and stare at Sarah. My dad was shocked. He knows he done screwed up. Oh. I'm so sorry. Could I sit with you? It's been a long time since we don't meet. Mason was my friend. Sure. Take a seat. Gonna skip past 5 minutes. Oh well, Mason and I must go now. We have a date tonight. Oh really? So romantic. My mom thinks it's time to reveal everything. From what I know, Mason married before. I don't think it was you. Are you his second wife? No. I am Mason's first wife. No crap Sherlock. Well, who's the second wife then, Mason? Mason, you didn't keep any secret, right, darling? My dad had not spoken since my mom came. Because Mason's first wife is right in front of your freaking eye. Excuse me? I married Mason years ago. I met his parents and he never married until he found me. Mason, is this true? Nod slowly. Well then. Then suddenly, S holding a fist, trying to punch M, but M was faster. She blocked and pushed S until she falls. Don't date someone's husband, you crazy freak. How dare you? I married Mason first. You should respect me for being his first wife. Well, when did you both marry? We married 10 years ago. I married Mason in 2002. That would make me his first wife. S then screeches about how she lies and lunges toward M, but that doesn't stop M. She uppercutted S right in the face. She got a bloody nose. She falls down and throw a tantrum like a really loud one. Believe it or not, the police were watching the whole thing from the car. They come up to MPO1 and PO2 will be police officer. Ma'am, what is going on here? This crazy witch tries to punch me, so I pushed her away. Then she doesn't stop and lunges towards, so I punched her right in the face. What is the cause of this argument? She's saying that she's my husband's first wife. When told her that I'm married to my husband first, she tried to punch me. Is this true? Don't believe her, police officer. She punches me because she wants to marry my husband. Ma'am, calm down, we'll settle this. You remember when M told me to record everything? I joined the party. PO2, I have this recording of the whole thing, sir. Why did you record it, you creep? PO, arrest him for stalking. He's my son. I told him to record this whole thing. What the actual hell? PO2 ignores her and watches the video. Ma'am, I am going to arrest you. Yes. Arrest her, officer. I meant you, ma'am. What? Watches the video again. Maybe you are missing something. Pulls out cuff. Please do not resist. S then tries to run away and fell down, thanks to her high heel shoes that just broke. No. My shoes. She still freaking care about that. Ma'am, you are arrested for resisting arrest and an attempt to hurt a person, you freaking slur. PO2 was black and that. I could still hear S scream when she's in the car, windows closed. Few minutes later, the police is gone. You want to cheat me again? I'm sorry, Mariah, I'm really sorry. You're lucky I didn't beat your butt back there. And you've been apologized. How long had you know about this? Last week. I saw you with the crazy witch. "Oh, can we stop arguing and just go to McDonald's? I'm hungry." That cheered my dad a little bit. We went there though, ye. My dad never cheated on her since that happened. Your mom still should have beat your dad's butt for cheating instead of just embarrassing him a little. And why that woman was still talking crap to police officer when the truth was opened. It's just mindless. I'll preface this by saying I broke a few rules, but no laws. Backstory. I work as a field technician for an ATM company. We have a small service area and are only in North America. I was answering a call to a chain that we hold a contract with, let's call the Bullseye. Now company policy does not permit me to carry a weapon. However, I can find a new job and I can't find a new me. With everything going on right now, mixed with working with these machines, better safe than in a coffin. This call was for the part of the machine that houses and gives out the cash. It requires a special key, and I can only open 2 at a time. I have the entire machine pulled apart. I'm sitting on the cassettes that store the cash. We have had people pick them up and try to walk away. Players. EM. Entitled Mom. EK. Entitled Kid. EM. Dumb Manager. C1 and C2. Cops 1 and 2. Story. I'm working quietly, pretty routine stuff, when mini obese Albert appears. "Are you stealing this stuff?" asks EK. "No, I'm trying to fix it," I reply. EK then screams like a 4-foot-tall drill sergeant, "Why the hell do you have a gun then?" This brings a lot of attention over, but most people see me in the machine, see the cones, and immediately know what I'm doing. DM comes over and asks EK to step away from the machine. DM then turns to me and asks, "Is that an automatic AR-15? I soullessly reply, "That is a Glock 19, the same that our officers carry. It is a semi-automatic weapon. Don't come in here with it again. I keep tell that your people, I don't care what's in the truck, this is a family business." He assumed I was with the armed vehicle service who brings the cash out. He storms off. EK returns with EM and a cart full of stuff. EM screeches, "Hey yo, PST, yo. My guy." I look over before she continues. "Hey, break me off half of them cash boxes." I laugh and say no. EK chimes in, Mama ask him, and she looks at me and says, "Let him see your piece then." He plays Call of Duty, so he knows what to do. I stand up and start pulling the cassettes into the machine. I can feel the trouble brewing, and I tell her, I wouldn't hand a weapon to anyone. You both need to continue on or I will have security remove you. She screams like a banshee, "Help, I need help," and DM rushes back over and asks, "What's wrong?" Entitled Mom, her legal first name, changed for reasons, very concerned. She then says the following: "This slur saw me drop money and stuffed it into one of those boxes and locked it away and called my baby a slur." I eyeball the people in self-checkout and get a return of the look that says, "Not my problem." DM and EM start screaming at me, and I am in the defensive posture with my hands up, and EK decides he is going to rush around and try to rip my weapon from my waist. Not easy, as it has a release that needs to be depressed, like me, and lifted upward. I in one fluid motion spin and push the child into his mother. However, my concealed weapon is no longer concealed. Just as 2 local cops walk in, and I am now raising my voice that everyone needs to step back 10 feet immediately. EM gets a smug look on her face as she now sees I'm being rushed by the cops. It takes a few minutes and I fully comply with all directions given to me. After about 20 minutes of the DM and EM and EK giving their completely made up stories on me robbing the place and stashing the loot in the ATM, I get asked what happened. I look up at the camera and say, "Ask the eye in the sky." EM obvious evacuated his bowls when he heard that and tried to run off ahead saying, "I'll make sure they're on," when he's stopped by the C1 and is told to radio another manager. C2 walks off with another manager and comes back 20 minutes later. This whole time I'm handcuffed and EK is saying every few minutes, "He gave me the bird." He's doing it again while the cop and I are chatting. C2 comes back and asks, "You both know lying to a cop is against the law?" Both of them look stunned and look at each other. C1 starts taking the cuffs off me and returns my weapon. This is where things get spicy as the cops are leaving with verbal warning all around before I can ask them to stay for a second so I can return the machine to service. DM starts with his anti-police slurs. "All cops are biscuits, no swearing," and EK screams out, "Screw the police." I slide out of the way as C1 and C2 have reconsidered the verbal warnings and have now returned. EM starts screaming, "But he stole my money," while they are both arrested. Sadly, I broke company rules and I am currently suspended to pending review, and I have to speak to the Bullseye district manager on Friday. Well, nothing to do now but fill my orca on Eve. The fact that any parent would think that Call of Duty somehow gives a gun handling skill set is just mentally painful. Sorry you had to deal with that. This happened a couple of years ago. I was working for a popular coffee chain, we'll call it Starbros. After a year with the Starbros, I was transferred to a new location with a promotion to shift leader. Our store was brand new, so we didn't have a lot of customers the first few days cause people didn't know our store was open. On day 3, we got our first family. Passed. EM. Entitled Mom, G. Grandma, RR1. Roadrunner 1, RR2. Roadrunner 2, SB. Sweet Baby, SC. Awesome Cops. I was doing some inventory in the back when the family walked in. EM and G were having a very loud conversation. They quickly ordered 2 drinks only for themselves and immediately let the 2 kids, who looked to be around 6 to 8, run rampant through the lobby. We had no other customers, so I really didn't care. That was until they let the baby out of his car seat. SB was crawling and walking around trying to follow RR1 and RR2. I saw SB fall hard a couple of times and he was crying yelling for his mom, but she paid absolutely no attention to him. EM and G were just too deep in their conversation to care. I thought it best not to get involved and just focused on making drinks behind the bar. Suddenly, I felt a small tug at my pants. I ignored it at first till I felt a tiny hand touch my leg. I looked down to see SB in tears with his arms raised up at me. I quickly scooped him off the ground and backed away from all the hot and dangerous equipment I was working with. SB put his tiny arms around my neck and sobbed in my shoulder. I brought him around the corner and into the lobby, bouncing him up and down trying to soothe him. I also grabbed a high chair so he could sit with his mom. When I got to EM's table, she gave me a horrified look. "What the hell do you think you're doing?" SB got behind the bar. "I have dangerous equipment back there. He could get hurt very easily." I put the high chair to the side of the table and placed SB in. I expected that to be it, but you should never touch someone else's child. Well, if you didn't want me touching your kid, then you should have been watching him. He came around the counter into my area. Again, I have dangerous. There is nothing dangerous back there. It's just coffee. If I wanted a high chair, I would have gotten a damn high chair. She starts to take SB out of the chair and places him on the floor. I decided at that point it was better to just walk away rather than fight with a customer, but as I am trying to walk away, I feel SB's tiny hand grab my leg again. I turn around to EM and G continuing on with their conversation, paying no mind to what's happening. I release his hand from my leg and walk to the counter. I stop to see if I was followed, and sure enough SB is tailing behind. There is no gate to block the entrance into our bar area, so as SB got closer, I started to yell. "You have 10 seconds to pick up your child before I call CPS. 1, 2, there was no reaction. EM and G just kept talking. And as I am counting, I see RR1 and RR2 are running way too fast and have too much momentum to stop. RR1 crashed into our display case and caused a ceramic cup to fall. I quickly grabbed SB as he was very close to the display case and the cup was going to fall directly on him. EM gets up from her table but doesn't move towards us, she just starts yelling from the table. "What did I just tell you about touching my kids? Put him down." Just before I could respond, something beautiful happened. 2 cops who are regulars of mine from a previous store walked in. They immediately see SB in my arms and ceramic glass everywhere. "Whoa, looks like someone's a hero. I want her arrested, she keeps trying to steal my baby." SB almost got hurt by a falling. "Don't listen to her, she doesn't even work here." The cops know me and that I do work there, so I start explaining what happened while giving the baby to one of the officers. EM kept yelling and making up her own story, so I showed them the security footage. SC told EM they could easily arrest her for neglect, child endangerment and destruction of property, but they wouldn't do any of that if she could do 4 things. EM had to apologize to me, pay for the broken mug, clean up the broken mug, and never come back to our store. EM lost it saying she didn't owe anyone anything and it's a free country. She yelled that I should be arrested for being inappropriate with her child, then tried to jump at me. AC got in the way and proceeded to put her in handcuffs. I thanked both ACs with a free coffee and gave the young kids free cake pops since their mother was just arrested. Their G said thank you and left. Anyone who is going to ignore their kids or the dangers they face really shouldn't have kids. Parents do this everywhere. They think when they go to restaurants and places like that they can feel free from kids. No.